Ryan lived in a quiet suburb of California. From the outside, his life looked stable. A decent job, a small apartment, regular routines. But inside his mind, Ryan was constantly disturbed. Not because of what was happening in his life, but because of what he believed about it. Ryan believed every thought that crossed his mind. When a colleague didn't reply quickly to his message, he believed they disliked him. When his boss looked serious in a meeting, he believed he was about to be fired. When he saw people online living better lives, he believed he was failing. His mind was always telling stories, and Ryan trusted every one of them. One evening, after a long, stressful day, Ryan went to visit his uncle David, a retired school teacher who lived alone near the coast. David was calm, slow in his movements, and always seemed unbothered by things that stressed everyone else. They sat outside as the sun slowly dropped into the ocean. Ryan spoke without stopping, unloading weeks of anxiety, fear, and frustration. He talked about his job, his relationships, his future. Everything felt uncertain. David listened quietly. Then he picked up a small stone from the ground and held it in his hand. "Do you believe this stone can hurt you?" David asked. Ryan looked confused. "Of course not." David tossed the stone gently toward Ryan. It landed near his feet. "It only hurts," David said, "if you decide it has power." Then he looked at Ryan and said something that stayed with him forever. "Your thoughts are the same way. Just because they appear doesn't mean they're true." Ryan had never thought about it like that. His entire life, he had assumed that thoughts were facts. If his mind said something, he believed it without question. David continued, "Your mind is a storyteller. Some stories are useful. Many are not. If you believe every story, you will live in constant fear." That night, Ryan went home feeling unsettled, but aware. Over the next few days, he began noticing how often his mind lied to him. A thought would say, "You're not good enough." Another would say, "People are judging you." Another would say, "You'll never succeed." For the first time, instead of obeying those thoughts, Ryan paused. He asked himself, "Is this true, or is it just noise?" Something changed. He realized most of his suffering wasn't coming from reality, but from assumptions, from conclusions without evidence, from stories he had believed for years without questioning. Slowly, Ryan learned to create space between himself and his thoughts. He stopped reacting immediately. He stopped assuming the worst. He stopped believing everything his mind whispered in moments of fear. Life didn't suddenly become perfect. Problems still existed, but they no longer controlled him. At work, he became calmer. In relationships, he became more understanding. With himself, he became kinder. One day, Ryan visited David again. This time, he looked different, lighter, more present. David smiled. "You've stopped fighting your thoughts, haven't you?" Ryan nodded. "I stopped believing them blindly." David laughed softly. "That's freedom. When you realize you are not your thoughts, they lose their power over you." Ryan finally understood a truth that most people never learn. Not every thought deserves your trust. Not every story deserves your belief. And not everything you hear, even from your own mind, is true. From that day on, Ryan lived with awareness instead of fear. He listened to his mind, but he no longer surrendered to it. And in that quiet shift, his life found peace. Thanks for spending your time here. If you felt a shift, even a small one, hit that like button and join our growing community by subscribing.